This evening, we're going to have another round of discussion with Mrs. Shillingford because there's some more things that she would want to say to you guys out there as it relates to that ongoing situation. Let me straight up the bat say that, as always, the discussion, the words that will be expressed here by Mrs. Shillingford is their hers and hers only, and so yours truly will take no liability or accept any responsibility as to the sentiments expressed in the discussion here. Last week's discussion, before I can tell you, it generated a lot of discussion. A lot of people called me, a lot of people followed up with her, and basically had their take, be it on the good side, the bad side, or even the in-between, I should say. But that's how it is. But that did not stop her from continuing on, as she said, seeking justice for her husband and all those that are presently in her husband's predicament. So today being the 14th of September 2024, it's just about 5 minutes to 5 o'clock. And that is where I want to say a special good afternoon to you. Let me just say Agatha.
Good afternoon, Lofty. And I'm very happy that you gave me the opportunity to continue my plea and my cry on behalf of my husband. Like I told you before, my husband might be the one that is used to answer the prayers of many elders or people that have elderly family members going through similar or same situation like my husband. You know, the truth is an offense, we all know, but it is not a shame. And one of the things that I always tell people is we can gain from it, and we can even make it a Hall of Fame instead of trying to play it off and think it's a game, you know. First, I want to address certain comments that were made, and some people trying to make this a political endeavor, which it isn't. You understand? And I always tell our people, you all need to rise from the depression and the oppression of the political mental slavery. This has nothing to do with politics. This is a cry of the elderly people that are suffering after they are paying so much money per month to someone that they trust to take care of them. Okay, Lofty? Let me go towards my whole sequence of life, right? I was born 2/11/62, all right? 2. 1 + 1 is 2. At the end of 62 is 2. 2 + 2 + 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. I am showing you my elements in sequence in life, all right? I am the 7th child of my mother, all right? 6 and 7 is 13. 3 + 1 is 4. 4 corners of the earth I represent. Even the mark of the beast with the 666 and the 4 elements of the earth. North, south, east, and west. All right, Lofty? When I look at the system that is going around our nation, it is very catchy. You understand? Because I always learn and always know. Never let a politician grant you a favor. They will want to control you forever. All right?
Indeed.
I've been in the system here when I came back, you know, and people trying to say, well, oh, when it was nice, and now there was nothing nice about it. I served in Ministry of Education. I got a salary, okay? I asked for help to fix the government road at Cajon. I got the project. The project was estimated by their Ministry of Public Works $24,000 plus. I was paid $16,800. If you calculate that, I am still being owed by the government for the project. I never one day spoke about it. I have gotten nothing free from them. Okay? The people out there, the naysayers that claiming, oh, things was nice, and when things was nice, let me tell you all are victims trying to victimize a situation that is needed to be heard, a situation that is needed to be taken into seriously, because our elders are the pavers of our way. They paved the path for us to be able to see the length of the days that we are living. Okay? If we don't respect and love our elders, our nation is going to suffer. All right? I did a PowerPoint on abuse and Alzheimer's when I was in college and university. And this PowerPoint, I'm going to show it in part 3. Let people get more awareness of what it is about. I have no enmity with anybody, be it politician, be it the owner of facts. I am just asking and begging and pleading for people to come together and make sure that our elderly receive the proper care and the facility is properly equipped and the elderly are well taken care of. There is enough space up there where a unit can be built for the male and a unit for the females. A unit where she can keep a clinic, on-site doctors and nurses 24 hours, a kitchen. Everything should be separated, not in one cluster, where you have a kitchen right outside, an eating area right outside the kitchen, beds and rooms right. No. There is enough space to build a facility, and there is enough income coming in from the payment of these elderly people per month that she, even if she asks for help from the government, can build a proper facility to house these people. Nobody should be paying that kind of money and have to sleep in a room or in a cubicle with 3 or 4 other patients. No, no. In the States, they like to say, oh, you cannot compare Dominica with America, but there's similarities, all right? You pay for your elderly in an elderly home. When you visit, you go into a room, you bring your flowers, you make up their bed, you bring whatever, you spend time with them. There is a hallway, there is a room where you sit, there is a waiting area, there is a visiting area, there is a recreation area. The outside in the yard where they're sitting, birds pooping on the table, on the chair. They don't even have a tent out there to accommodate the people that come to visit them, because inside is so crowded, and outside don't even have a tent where you can sit when you visit to talk to your people or your loved ones. No recreation center. I saw them in the botanical gardens doing a little recreation. They have a big yard where they could build a recreation center. Not a big thing, but a little tent, a little housing, something to house them, where they can play a little bingo, where they can sit down and talk with their friends, you know? But no, people want to open their mouth and say, oh, she talking because. I am talking because the elderly is speaking through my husband. They are using him as a voice for them, because they are in this dire need of change.
So Agatha, let me just intervene a little bit. What are some of the sentiments expressed when you spoke last week? What are some of the sentiments people are calling you about?
A couple of people I spoke with, and especially one lady said to me, Miss, I suspect, I have my mother up there, and I suspected similarities with what you were saying going on. And when I spoke to the lady owner of the place about it, she convinced me that things was going to change and things would be better, because she saw the condition of the place when she visited, and she spoke on it, you know. And another thing I find in Lofty, in every institution you go, there is a suggestion box. where you can write. You go in, you visit, you see something, you can write it and put it in the box, and then the people in the institute, the owners of the institutions can stand up and say, well, you know what? This is a concern that one person have, a couple people have, let's fix it. Nothing like that. Okay? Now, if you voice your opinion about it, those victims that are trying to victimize people want to open their mouths and cast filthy remarks, ugly remarks, all kind of remarks that they themselves should sit down and consider, because all of us will get old one day. And if these elderly people are going through that now, time we reach their age, what would it be? Where, what condition would it be in?
It will be like a hell and earth situation.
It would, exactly. You understand? Because they feel because they're young now, they have children, their children will take care of them. Let us look beyond people that we know that had children. Let's look at some of the Milatres Wozo that had children that they cared for, they spent money for, they thought they were the top notch, they were superior. Right now, look at their stages. Some of them are out in America, in Canada, and we all see them. The things that they never did here, they are doing out there. We make children, but we don't own them. We can't even control them. So in our later days and our older days, we don't know where the hell, from my language, we might end up, even if our children show us love now. We don't know how long it's going to last. Because when you cannot open your mouth and fight for yourself or say something for yourself, you are at the mercy of others. And that is where these elderly people up there are. Okay? I love to help. Because every time I help, is a prayer that is answered. It's a prayer from God that is answered. And that is the way I'm looking at it. It is non-political. Okay? I played my part in Ministry of Education. I got paid for it. I played my part on Kaum Government Road. I got paid for it. I asked for assistance during COVID for my school. I was turned down. I was Mama Guide because of political affiliation. I'm not registered to vote. I never voted.
So, and you're saying categorically clear, it's not just because you were turned down from whoever it is politically, that is why you are speaking now.
The turn down that I got was a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
Because in spite of the turn down, I still rised, and I still rising above all. Because all my school debts are paid.
Okay.
All my school debts are paid. All the loans that I took to help my school to reach to the peak that I needed it to reach, paid off. Ed Bank, both loans are paid off. NCCU, both loans are paid off. Edge, paid off. Courts, paid off. All my loans are paid off.
And for those who were not on the live last week, these loans are paid off by whom? From whom?
I will tell you one thing and I will say it again. God bless me with Burning Spear.
That is the
reggae artist, the international reggae artist, and that man opened a door for me. And from the time that door opened, is blessings upon blessings upon blessings.
So you want to big him up?
Big up Burning Spear, my Papa Burning Spear, Achievers, Believers, Preschool Papa.
True.
That helped us through so many situations and rose us up against all adversities that was against us. Because during COVID, when they said we're going to open, I had to run, beg here for a loan. Can you please help us open up? No, none of them cannot call me now. And big up to Mr. Shillingford, Brian Shillingford's son, working in NDFD. That man used to be calling me Big Edge. Big up to all my peoples in Big Edge, my peoples in NCCU. Calling me, Miss Atlee, your loans in arrears, we're going to take you to court. All of that. I went to NDFD, National Development Foundation of Dominica. Big up Miss Casey. Miss Casey guided me and told me exactly how to go about doing what I was doing. You hear me? And I built myself up without any political affiliation, without any politician helping or stretching a dollar to me. I never went back to them. 3 years counting from 2021. I never went back and asked for any help. So the people that out there saying when things was nice, things was never nice with me and them. What I was trying to do was fit into a political party that I am accustomed with. But when I look at the politicians and the way that they operating, I could not fit in because they are self-centered, they are selfish, and they don't give two damn about our nation. Because if they did, they would stop talking because all of them know the situations that our people are going through. Like I said, knowledge without action is poverty.
So just before we wind up on that political connotation that these people out there, some people out there, want to spin on it. Can you just give us your affiliation with the Dominican Labour Party?
Well, from Iolibla, my mother was a caterer for the Labour Party, Dominican Labour Party.
Okay.
Mr. Sulwikuz Latig, because I was born and raised in the yard, Sulwikuz Latig on 27 King George Street, the big house on the corner. Yeah. That's where we were. And we started campaigning with the Dominican Labour Party from Iolibla time. I used to campaign everywhere and anywhere because my mother was the main cook in the times of the campaigns. Okay. Then we came to Patrick John. And then the overthrow of Patrick John came in, and I was up in the ministry with Patrick John during the overthrow. One of his daughters, my best friend, big up my girl, she was upstairs and they said to her, your father say, all because we were young, they were the Young Women Labour Party organization. We were the young, because they had the women organization and the Young Labour Party organization. So they asked us to leave. And she said she's not leaving her father. And she said, Kathy, stay with me. And then I went and I said to him, let me tell you something. Patrick John, may his soul rest in peace. I said, let me tell you something, BJ. You see, you take us out because we were living in a yard by the Latics in King George Street. And everything was love with in this yard there. Love. Everybody, neighbors, everybody, love. Until when Papi died, Papi Winston died, and Eustace and his wife moved in Papi's house. And his wife made our life a living hell because my brother Manu was a dread. And Dreadat, Desmond, Roy, Blow, our yard was the headquarters for all of this Black Power, Daniel Cordera, Ron Green. Our yard was full of, Yes. And in the Alliance Party, we had Bernard Wilshire, we had Afi Mate, we had Glenn Ducre, we had Panfe, we had Amor, we had a whole group of Alliance Party, and my brother was the messenger for the Alliance Party. So our yard used to be full, and everybody talking, and and then when they leave our yard, they would go down to the Four Corners, down by where now Payless is. That Four Corners there, they would take over that whole area there, keep meeting, young girl eyeing it. You understand? Good. From there, we move on with Patrick John. He gave us, after we go through all that police coming, we had a Philip, my mother had a Philip radio. That lady used to call police on us every time. Groovy Bat was one of them that would come in the yard and just burst our gate and come inside and just mash up my brother's shop, burst his windows, searching for marijuana.
Groovy Bat is who?
Angelo Ali.
Okay.
He was one of them.
I see Angelo's on the live as well.
He was one of them. I used to cry behind that man. You know what I mean? One time the man came in and the man got a portion of weed in my brother's place, carry my brother outside, thinking he gonna bring my brother up to the police station. The man let go my brother halfway. Don't bring my brother crying going to the police station. I run him down, my brother. We went through hell in King George Street. Okay. With that woman that kept calling police and trying to make us believe It's Bernard Kuzlati that was calling the police. And all the time Mr. Bernard used to collect the $11 rent from my mother. He never showed us any animosity. And that lady actually looked at my mother and tell my mother, oh, like a mother hen with so many grown women in your house. I can never forget that. I love this man. You know me and my mother was crying. And when I look at her today and her house, she is the mother hen. You hear me? Up to a day like today, she remained that mother hen. And I'm in my 60s. Yeah. You hear me? So when I return, let us go back to the political stage now. Yes, so after Patrick
John, yes,
after Patrick John fell, O.J. Seraphine came in. I rallied with O.J. Seraphine, Springfield, giving out galvanized, moving, and I spoke O.J., some of them fellas on board, they are crooks. O.J., some of them fellas, they're Mike Douglas, Rosie Douglas. Rosie and I were close. You hear me? I used to sleep up on the estate with Rosie had the Ford. Remember the Jeep? Ford Jeep he had. Okay? I used to sleep up on the estate. When we campaigning in the north area, because I used to campaign with him, Panfay, a whole gang of us from Portsmouth. Alright? OJ came in, rally with OJ. Marshals used OJ as a scapegoat for her to get in. Election time come, boom, Dominicans decide they vote in freedom. Freedom coming. Okay? But the Labour Party was split up because we had the interim. Then we had Mike Douglas had a party, so Papi came in, so it was kind of scattered about.
Yeah, disorganized.
Badly disorganized. So Dominicans had that kind of, anyway, Machas came out, claim Dreader, do this, and Yeah. My brother was the one, my mother was the one that brought the letter to Machas for the Dreader, and somebody has to be cut, but we never worried with that. You understand?
Okay.
So now, after that Machas came in, everybody that profited and benefited from Patrick John fly out from Dominica, left him hanging, OJ had his whole thing going on already, so he continued with his hotel and, kept himself up. Mike Douglas kept himself up. Rosie did the same thing, and we continue communicating, even if the party was, dead. We continue communicating, all right? So when Freedom won the election, nobody don't know how to come back and build up a Labour Party to take on the Freedom Party.
Yeah.
So that's when the UWP Party and Edison James came in and then threw out Miss Charles. And then the Labour Party get a chance to regroup themselves under Rosie Douglas. Because Rosie was first an alliance soon. He was a member of the Alliance Party. Okay? And then, because he run Black Power, all the time down by the Royal Bank on the Bayfront, all that I need. Little good, getting blows, but I need.
Yeah.
You understand? And then he came and he ran under the flag of the Labour Party and reunited Freedom, Labour, everybody he could. So he made it a unification party where everybody united and come under one umbrella. And he expected it to remain that way. Because I remembered when he used to move with the now Prime Minister. He cannot remember me, but there is a lot I could sit and talk to him and remind him about. Yeah. You understand? But I wouldn't go there because I'm really not into him per se. I'm more into what's going on with our elderlies in that state that they're in there. You understand? So when I went to, after Rosie won, I came back down to Dominica, run carnival with Rosie. Me and Rosie jumped, Rosie, Debbie, his daughter, Debbie and myself, we jumped carnival together. And then he said to me, look, I want you to go back to America and go back to school. And we're planning now, Matthew Walters, Lorraine Banis, myself, Afi Mate, Charles Savre, all of us together with Rosie was coming together to organize a community program Because I was working with the QEM in America, Quality Education for Minorities. And they had a program, and I look at it and I say, boy, that can work in our communities. You understand? And Ruzi, as you know, is a man of the people in the communities. Because he used to go out, I used to go with him, school books. That's where I got that from, you know. School books, school bags, school uniform, food. That's from who I end up doing that same thing that I'm doing now. I got it from Ruzi. Because I used to be on that van, on that jeep with him, sharing stuff to people all out on the north side of the country. Okay? So when that happened now, I said to myself, you know what? Ruzi, right. He said to me, go back to school. Because you will be needed. Ruzi died. That man poisoned Ruzi, boy. Anyway, that take me harder. I left the book with Lauren Bannis. She had the book because when I went to Matthew Walters tell me, well, go to Lauren Bannis. I went to Lauren. I showed Lauren the book. Matthew saw the book. And, you know, we're planning to put something together. Ruzi died. From the time Ruzi died, everything just
fell apart.
You see? So then I left because imagine I came down and I had a meeting in Lagon. And I was sharing out food and things for people, you know. And it hurt me so bad, that I went back up to the States in 2003. And I never came back till 2019, you know. You understand? Because I couldn't understand why, after he did so much and put certain people in positions in our country, in our system, that they would turn around and do something. And then, like I always tell people, man, life and living is entirely spiritual.
Okay, so Ruzi dead, Pierre Charles took over. Take us from there now on to who we have today.
All right, so when Pierre Charles took over, I was in the States, and I following on Pierre Charles doing what he's doing. But when I was down here in 2003, I end up, let me go back to that. 2003, while I down here, I needed to go back up to the States because I was depending on the program to organize, you know. And Ruzi always told me, if in case I'm stuck in any situation, to go to John from Grand Bay. Tall guy. He was a minister of health back in the days with Pierre Charles.
That's Fabian.
John Fabian.
Fabian, yes.
John Fabian. So when I got stuck, I want to go back to America because I see things not going to work. I went to Pierre Charles to get a ticket to go back. Because I'd already stayed my, you know. And Pierre Charles told me to go to John Fabian. I went to John Fabian. John Fabian gave me a letter. I went to Richard supermarket upstairs. I gave them the letter. Charles Savre gave me money to buy my shoes. Okay? I went to Charles. He was Minister of Tourism at that time. All right? I went in and he gave me money to buy my shoes. 2003, April 2003. April 23rd, 2003. I left Dominica and went back to America. And I started following Pierre Charles. And then I say, you know what? Since I'm not down here, I don't feel I have the right to be part of the political saying that's going on in the country. You understand? Because I'm outside. I don't know what's going on at home, what the people going through. So I ease up. Next thing I hear, Pierre Charles died. So I say, wow. So now, the spirit show up, and he just call like a heart attack, you bow, and he died. Okay, scary takeover. Young man promising coming in power, and has a lot of, he spoke so highly, and he had a lot of energy as to the development and the growth of the country, and as a young man on the rules, because he was with Freedom Party first, you know. He was never Labour, right? He is a born freedom right. He started, you know, your base in politics, your base is your base. Whether you jump over, cross over, your base is your base in politics. Mike Douglas taught me that. And Mike was a political scientist. Your base is your base. So I remember when I used to go and get grapefruit by J.B. Charles, and they had the Young Freedom Movement meeting. He used to be talking. He was the speaker, talking and organizing everything. You understand? So he basically is not a member of the Labour Party. That is why I keep telling people this is not a Labour Party. Okay? This is a group of politicians that came from the Freedom Party, you hear me? The UWP, you know, because if you look on the board, there are no labor rights, you know. None of them are foundational labor rights on that party. None. You understand me? So they use the umbrella of the Dominican Labour Party to shield themselves, to gain power, because that's what they needed. And then they come in on the backs of the labor rights. You understand me? And use the votes of the people to create a victim mentality where I will give you this and I have you for the rest of your life. I will give you an apartment even though you don't have food in it. Not my business. All I know, I give you an apartment. And if you don't vote for me, you'll be out.
Yeah.
Same thing with the jobs, without continuing. Same thing with the jobs.
Quite interesting. But just before we go back to where we started in terms of the elderly care, what is your take on the whatever now passes under the banner of Labour Party? Roosevelt scared their being for what, 20 years plus. What is your take on his type of leadership?
Well,
from you being the part of the foundation of
all right.
Before we move on,
I look at it as a self-centered situation. All right, where it's all me or nothing. It's either me or nothing. It's either my way or the highway. You understand? It's either you come and bow down to me in order to get something, or you don't get nothing at all. Because I remember going up to ministry on the 5th floor to see, you could walk up and go see your prime minister. You could walk up and go see your prime minister. Even in the time of Pierre Charles, when Pierre Charles was in the financial center, I went up there without nobody stopping me, and I went straight up and asked the secretary to see him. Right now, he will tell you, come. And when you come, and to see the elderlies that are going through this nonsense, and to see the young people that are going through this nonsense, and to see the people that are in need that are going through this nonsense, and you have some of these sex retirees telling you, they're not there.
How you call them?
Sex retirees.
Okay.
They're not there. Oh, you what you want. Oh, you're retired. Come. And it's a shame. It's a self-centered situation. And a humble servant like me, I cannot deal in that kind of thing. I remember giving out a bag of food to a woman that was in need. I took it from Labor House. I went outside. I tell her, wait for me. I took it from Labor House. I went outside. I asked Nadia Karam for it. Nadia Karam said, oh, Agatha, that is for our people. I say, Nadia Karam, let me tell you something. Your father was a born laborer, okay? You know that me stand them don't give a about whether you labor or whether you UWP. It's all about their damn pocket. Give me the food. I pick up the bag of food. I went outside and I give it. And the woman is a schoolmate of mine, you know. Somebody stay across the street and see me because she working in the same area there. And next thing she go and say, oh, look, she giving food to people that not us, that not all, that don't vote for us, that not us. We all are human. I turn around, I say we all are human beings. Whether you red, whether you blue, whether you purple, whether you green, we all are human beings. She need the food sitting in the office, people not picking up the food. She need it, I will take it and give it to her, regardless to if she vote for all you or not.
True.
They report me. And when they reported me, they say, oh, you are very, when I get the phone call, the power rep tell me, oh, you have a very dominant attitude and you mustn't come to the labor house with this attitude. That was the end of Solomon Grundy for me, you know. Food, you know, my brother, that they give away to people, not their money, you know, that pay for it. You understand me? And I keep saying, look, the same way all you selling the passports and going on trips with all your family, the same way all you can sell 2 passports per constituency and help the people. It's the same thing for the school stuff. We giving China free, duty-free. We giving those Chinese duty-free to bring in certain things because they're helping us or whatever. We cannot get 4 40-foot containers of school supplies from China and place them in each constituency, and the constituencies around that constituency, these children can benefit from them. People have to come on MO News and begging for school supplies for the children, and they vote for all you.
True. Let me ask you, Agatha, as we move away, but I want to thank you for the perspective that you brought in terms of the little history that you gave us, so that people who are listening will watch that video, will sort of get a better perspective from where you're coming from. As you said, you were part of the foundation of, as you said, the real or the true Labour Party.
Yes.
How is Herbie doing now?
Herbie doing good. He put on some weight.
Put on some weight.
He put on some weight and he's doing good.
Okay.
Doing good. It's just the fact that some people trying to feel or think that I'm doing this for something else or something other than what it really is.
Let me just be straight up with you, Agatha. I'm already seeing some comments here based on what you said. Some people are saying that you did not get something. There's this sour grip. There's this whatever
something?
It is that you angry about, and just perhaps, peradventure, you may be buttered. You will get paid in the future, and so you will go quiet. How would you respond?
Paid for
Can
what?
you be bought? Will you be bought?
Paid for what?
I'm just asking based on the sentiments.
Buttered and paid for what? If I needed to be wanted or needed to be buttered, I would be kissing ass like the rest of them. I would have made myself a victim of the situation that they want people to be. I would be that political mental slavery cat that before anything I would run and say, oh, so-and-so said this and so-and-so said that, and look for $300 in an envelope. Or I don't need that. I know how to pray my way. I have kept telling people, if you know how to face your God, if you know how to find your divine self, if you know how to master the art of being alone, and when you put yourself first, nothing can touch you. Nothing can touch you. There is something called supernatural wealth. There is something called supernatural wealth. And your intimacy with your spirit and God can create your life with peace and happiness. With God used man to bless man.
True.
You understand me, Lofty? So therefore, if I am praying and I'm asking Father God to open the door, every day I ask God, give me this day my daily bread. Oh earth, 4 corners of the earth, give me this day my daily bread. And I walk out my house.
True. So I see you have some documents there. What about these documents?
A letter to the
And
Prime
if we can
Minister.
dovetail, go back to the elderly, the treatment, and
It's
your husband's case.
Well, you see, I tell you, I'll say it again. I think my husband was used by the elderly spirits to be their voice.
Okay.
To be their voice. It's the way it happened, because he was down in Belfast good, and the incident with the worker, with the staff happened. And the first time I went up to Mount Daniel, he asked me to come, but I said, no, my baby, it's okay. I will come another time. You know?
Yes.
That first day, he asked me to come. Because he saw what he felt I could help him to get out of. And then when I saw the condition of the people, and I even took a picture with Mary Therese that same day that I was up there. And I saw I called her on the phone and I said, Mary Therese, my husband cannot stay in your facility another day. I said to her, the condition of these people in the rooms. Then she started, oh, I was not here. I was airlifted to Martinique and then to England. And when I came back, I had to let go so many staff because the things was, but when you look at the condition of the place, that is not something that just happened. That is not something that happened within 3 months, within 6 months. That is something that been neglected for a long while. That is why it ended up in the condition it is that it is right now. You understand? And the condition that it is right now is not something that I would want for anybody to live in. Not even my puppy. I would put in a condition to live in a condition like that. And I said to her, listen, you can take Haitians and Santo Domingo people. Because she said that the Dominicans don't work together. And I experienced certain things to myself with Dominicans working. You understand? So I said to her, people don't like to see us go up. But you can take the Santo Domingo people or the Haitians, have them clean your place and clean the elderly and let the Dominicans cook the food and feed the people. Oh, but you know they must have they must have the work permit. I say, I'm not telling you to find people without work permit. Find people with work permit. Or you yourself can find people and sign up for them to get work permit because it's your place. And anything that happens falls back on you. It's like if something happened in my school, they're not going to blame my workers. They're going to blame me. And then she said to me, okay, I'll call you back. She hung up. She never called me back. And I left a voice note for her. And then I left a message. Because I have all of them in my phone. But I wouldn't display them just in case along the way I will need them for certain, you know.
Yeah, future.
But it's not anything that I don't want her to run her business or I against her.
So there's no personal...
No personal, because we took a picture together.
Okay. Yeah,
we were supposed to go and have coffee. We were supposed to spend a weekend together. But I can't do all that and turn a blind eye to the condition of these elderly people that she's housing for so much money. And I have a PowerPoint for session 3 that I'm going to bring out to the public so they can see what I'm talking about. Because I myself, I did my own work on that while I was in college and university, human development. So I know what I'm talking about. You see, and people don't want to understand one thing. Dementia, Alzheimer's, is sequential. It's a sequential disease. You understand me? And a lot of people don't want to understand that. And that is where they fall in deep into problem with these people. You understand? Because they'll tell you, oh, sometimes they're talking good, and sometimes they're cussing me, and sometimes they this, and sometimes they that. They work with the moon, the 4 quarters. Okay? New moon, half moon, full moon, first quarter, they work with the moon. So you have to know as a qualified, because I thought they had qualified caregivers up there. Honestly. I thought they had qualified caregivers up there.
I'm being told from a very reliable source that there may be even NEP workers up at that place.
Yeah, because I suspect that too. because the lady I spoke of in my first session there with you, that lady was working for the sanitation, and it's NEP that pays sanitation workers, right? And she ended up, so to me, what I put 2 and 2 together, they must have transferred from down there out of to up there. And she is an NEP worker. She is working on the NEP.
Okay.
You understand? So I myself, you know, I suspect. I said, but why is she here? Because I spoke to her. I said, why is she here? And then one of the workers, and there are workers that said to me, Gaffy, it's true. What you say there is true. But you see, when we go and talk about it, they say, oh, it's because she fired us. We're saying that. And then when we try to talk to other people about it, the power reps say, from the time they open their mouth and say, the power reps say, I could relate to that. You understand me? Let me tell you I can relate to that. I'm going to tell you, okay? I use the bus driver that work with the Rosa Central Party, right? Rosa Central. For my school, to carry my students trip everywhere for 2 years. It was Teachers' Day 2 years ago. And we went down, I took the staff and myself, and I hired the bus, and we went to Portsmouth. A trip to Portsmouth, to Bell Hall Bay. And on our way down, we stopped. Who drink beer, who take the liquor, you know? Alki take the liquor, Alki, we going down. And we left there, say about minutes to 7. After 7, we left Bell Hall, that little bar. We had a good time. We had a bottle of wine. None of us liked it. He took it. He drank it. I said, Terry boy, don't go and drink too much, you know, for when we going down, you fall asleep, come the comfort. On our way down to town, we driving good. And then I started a prayer. We started praying, say, thank you, God, safe journey back and everything. And when we reached on Eolibla Highway, between Salisbury, Mero, Salisbury, on that hill up there, we're going. And there are 2 vehicles in front of us. And I'm sitting at the front, right behind, sitting at the front. And I'm looking at the vehicles in front of us. And we're talking about how we enjoy, everybody in the bus talking. And in a certain time, I hear, boom! So and he jumped up. He fell asleep. And he ran in the back. And I went flying. I hit the front of the thing. Whoa! Anyway, the man of the vehicle in front of us came and said, everybody okay? I say, yes, my OLA's fly, but I don't know what's going to happen because I myself, I pitch right in the corner over there, you know? So the man said, okay, hope everything is okay. And the owner of the vehicle in the front, because that was like a Pajaro, the Pajaro. You know, they had strong.
Yes, solid vehicles.
The whole of the front of the bus, the whole side of the bus, wrecked. Now we reach in front of the school. Mind you, have camera in the school, and he fixing the bus. I say, Terry boy, my back hurting me, right now, my back hurting me. Because I hit on the thing, but I gonna see how it work out. He say, I gonna bring the bus. I say, boy, I want to go to the hospital. He say, I gonna check the fellow. I gonna drop them, and I'll come back and check him. He going to drop the other teachers. He'll come back and check me. I don't see him. I left. I went up to the casualty. While I in the casualty, I see it taking about a whole hour before anybody could even check me. I say, you know what? Let me go and take free paracetamol. Go and sleep. If anything, during the night, I will wake up early, which is the Saturday, and I will go to the doctor. Next morning I wake up. I call Terry. Terry tell me he coming. Terry see me. I have the brace in my neck. Terry see me. Terry pass me straight. I called in Terry. I went, the doctor sent me to do x-ray up across from Lindo Park in that medical place.
Yeah.
I called Terry, they tell me I need a mask. I called Terry to bring a mask for me. Terry tell me, oh, I already bring the bus garage now. Mind you, Terry living right there in River Breeze, that new apartment place there, you know. And I right down the hill, you know. Terry tell me, he bring the bus to fix, he don't have ride. Terry, I show him everything. He go by the school, he ask for me, they tell him I by the doctor. He don't answer his phone. Calling him, he don't answer. Next thing, when I meet the man by the market, I say, Terry, what you doing now? He say, I'll go and check the insurance, man, Gaffer. I'll go and check the insurance. Next thing, the man turning around and telling me, oh, his power rep say don't claim nobody on his insurance. Just because they help him to get the bus? Huh? So I know that power rep nonsense. So when she said to me, oh, when I spoke about it and when the power rep say, wash my mouth, I know those kind of things. Because I experienced the same thing with Terry and that accident. Let me tell you, I had to go and do the, you know, the Volcross, the when your head spinning and you go in, and I had to go by Dr. Williams up in Goodwill, around by the Pentecostal church area, in that area, I think is Williams, that's his name, and get my head twisted and turned for that, because I used to just feel my head spinning. I just, you know, to get that healed. I had to go to therapy. Now all that coming out of my school money and my pocket. And he had me thinking, he going to check the insurance. You know what the man do? The man gets another bus, change the hire of the bus, give somebody else the bus that had the accident. And and that is a man that we used to sit down in the house in Pong. We used to sit in the house in Pong where he used to live.
Yeah.
Growing up, young children, you know. And the man turned and do that to me because of political affiliation.
Agatha, I just want to insert right here, right now, that after last week's expose by yourself, Mary Therese Junker, that is the manager of the fax facility that we're talking about, she sent a press release to me and other news people out there. And the press release basically said certain things. At that point in time, I asked her whether she's on island. She told me no. And she's out burying her uncle in the UK, and as soon as she comes back, she will sort of open up her doors, as it were, to the journalists in Dominica, to people who have issues with her place in terms of a rebuttal. And knowing the person that I am, I asked her for a walk around, a site visit. At the same time, she said to me, no problem, whenever she's back on island, she will do just that. So I just wanted to insert that here as to her response so far as to your claims and allegations and whatever it is in moving forward. Okay. I know you saw that as well, but I guess we have to wait for her side of the issue as well.
And I'm glad she's willing to allow you and other people to come in, because you all can give a feedback, give ideas as to, you know, development, you know, things that could be done, you know, because it looked like she getting aid, you know, help, donations from good facility or people, it looked like, because the wheelchairs and the beds are solid. You understand? They are good, you know, they're solid. Yeah. So it looked like she have people maybe generating income or whatever into her facility. So it would be a good thing. I hope she keep her word.
Well, let's hope so.
Because it would be a good thing for people like you and others to go in, so you all can give a feedback.
Yeah, let's hope so, and I will hold her towards.
Yeah.
As we bring the discussion to a close in just a bit, because we're just about an hour, I see you have some letters in your hand, and also I want to ask you, is there an intention by you to sort of put a group together to sort of help push that case that you have been pushing, really proper elderly care? Okay,
well, this is something I want people to understand also. This cry is not a political cry. This plea is not to look for favor or anything. This plea is to let people understand or be aware, to create awareness of what the elderly people, not only up there, but all over our country, to get more information, to share what we know, to help to get them to the level that they're supposed to be in. You understand? Because we have to honor our elders. You see? So if we as a people can come together and form a committee and say, okay, we have a lot of graduates from the college, young people graduates from the college. They don't have jobs. We have All Saints. I wish the All Saints University would really partake. I wish they would partake in the institutions that housing our elderly people. All of them. Go in there, share ideas, help the people that are in charge of this place, and make it a better place for all. Because we of ourselves will become old one day. We're not going to stay young all the days of our life. So if we can cater for a better place for them, then the place will be better for us when we reach their age. Because from where it was when I saw it, when I visited my teacher, I keep saying that. And I said it to her. The place has deteriorated bad. It has turned to something I thought it would have grown. Because I know a lot of people, if in overseas, America, Canada, there are groups and organizations that filter into institutions like this.
So are you saying she needs help up there in that department to help expand, to help improve?
That's what I am aiming at. And if we as a people can come together,
okay,
and create something that can help growth and development in all areas, not just facts, all of them. Let our seniors live happily and in peace. Let them die happily and peacefully, not miserable. You know, you go in inside and you hear the old man groaning like he in pain, and he groaning and he groaning and he groaning, and there is nobody there to say, okay, papi, where it hurting, rub it. You know, where it hurting, papi, okay. Or even a doctor to take his temperature or something to see why he is groaning. You know, we have a lot of young students that left, graduates from college. Why don't we put a little health group together, health aides?
But I'm being told from reliable sources as well, Agatha, that it may not be frequent enough, but there are doctors and nurses that visit that place and help check the...
Listen, let me show
That's
you.
what I was told. That's what I can report to you.
Okay, but listen.
As you said, in terms of development, there's much more that can be done in terms of your recommendation and orders moving forward. But I'm just telling you what I know from a factual standpoint that is being done as we speak.
Right. Now, look at the males and the females should not be together. Okay? They have enough space up there to put a female unit and a male unit. And then you put, let's say, the recreation area, and then you have the nursing station or the medic station where you have on-site nurses or doctors 24/7 or from 8 to 5 or doctors on call. You understand?
Yes.
And a recreation area. And then a little facility where they can sit with the people that come to visit them, where they can play their bingo, and you know, growth, development. It's ugly.
Okay.
This sitting area outside, you sit under a tree, bird poops there, the sun comes, hit there. You still have to stay in the hot sun, sit there with your loved one talking to them because there is no shade. It's not for facts alone. It's for all. All. And if they can come together as a group, all owners of the elderly institutions can come together as a group and do something to help make, because it's a home away from home. It's a home away from home, Lofty.
Somebody said there, when I worked up there, I guess it's at Mount Daniel that person's referring to, the ladies were down and the male were up. That's what somebody's, chiming in here now.
The ladies were down.
The ladies were down and the males were up.
So, Mondaniel, Belfast.
Well, that's what I'm getting there. So I just let me bring it to your
Okay,
attention.
so the ladies were down and the males were up. So when you're walking down the hallway and you have the teacher, my teacher room right there with the three ladies inside it, and then the middle room with where my husband was supposed to be with the three men, and then the other one with the men. I didn't see that.
Okay, right.
I saw women and men in the same area.
Okay, all right.
So if the men were up and the ladies are down at the time that she was working there, maybe more came in, so they have to mix them, because the place is crowded.
All right, Agatha, let's get to the letters that you have in your hand. What is your asking there?
The subject is an invitation to peaceful gathering at the Arch in honor of our elderlies. And I address it to the Prime Minister because if you go on my website, on our school website, Achievers Believers Preschool website, you will see my husband and I at the front of the building.
Okay.
He was part, when I started that school, he was my encourager. He was the one that really pushed me even when I was going to slow down. He would say, baby, you can do it, you can do that, you can do it, So I'm writing a letter I wrote a letter to the Prime Minister, to the Minister of Health, and to the Chief of Police. I am asking for permission from the Chief of Police also. I went on to say, Dear Honorable Prime Minister Scary, I hope this letter finds you in good health and high spirit. On behalf of Achievers Believers Preschool, I am pleased to extend a warm invitation to you to attend the peaceful gathering we are organizing, dedicated to honoring our seniors and elderly citizens residing in nursing homes across Dominica. The event is scheduled to take place at the Arch during preschool month. We will put in our date.
Okay.
The purpose of this gathering is to raise public awareness about the importance of our elderly and emphasize the need to treat them with the utmost care and respect. We believe that this event will foster a deeper appreciation for the elderly in our communities and inspire positive attitudes towards their well-being. Our elderly have contributed significantly to the development of our nation, and it is our duty to recognize and celebrate their invaluable role in our society. This gathering aims to bring attention to their needs and to promote a culture of compassion and kindness towards them.
Okay.
Your presence at this event would be an honor and greatly appreciated. We believe that your support and words of encouragement would further highlight the importance of caring for our elderly and motivate the communities to rally behind this noble cause. Thank you, Achievers Believers Preschool.
Okay, so basically you're not just speaking based on what you read, but you're about to do some action in that department by calling for this gathering.
Yes. Because let me tell you, it's not one, we don't have one elderly institution, we have a few on the island.
Yes.
And we only know about there because I came out and spoke about it. Other people have been speaking but in silent and hush hush, But there are others, that also need to be looked into. Health, development, It's just a cry to create an environment for our elderly that they can be happy and die peacefully when their time comes.
Sure. So as we're about to wrap, Agatha, is there any possibility now in the future that if what you're asking for in terms of the best health care for the elderly, including your husband, that your expectations are not met? Is there possibility litigation or legal action maybe in the works?
Well, for my husband, yes, I will take legal action against them because there is no way I'm going to accept my husband being injured or abused, whatever way they want to put it. I will not accept it because when he went in there, he had no scars. He had no marks on his body, okay? He ended up with scars and marks under the hands of a staff. And if you are a trained professional worker, you would know that's a no-no. This is why I want to bring the PowerPoint on session 3 so people can see and know and understand and understand what I am talking about. Because some people say, oh, me, if they hit me, I'll hit them back. If they, you cannot do that. You can't do that. Because you and the person might get in an altercation now. And later on, 2 minutes, 3 minutes later, the person loving you. Because they already, it's sequential. You understand? It's already, the wave has already passed. And the new wave has arrived. And that new wave showing love, compassion. And they have already forgotten about that old wave of the vicious inside. So we supposed to have qualified people, staff, people that go through classes. Because let me tell you, in college and university, when you take certain courses on Saturdays, they have you from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. doing training courses. Okay? A couple months ago, I spent how many hours with Mr. John Baptist in the fire station doing CPR and basic CPR. Where I need to do it because I'm dealing with children. It's the same thing. Once a man, twice a child. So when they reach to that age, it's like you're still dealing with a child, but it's just an elderly child. You understand? So you're supposed to be well equipped. You're supposed to know when, where, and how. Because I used to get mad at my husband. I would end up screaming, crying sometimes. At the way things turning out. But Lofty, I never raised my hands on him. Never raised my hands on him. Even if he make an attempt to raise his own, I will hold it and say, baby, we don't do that. We talk about, I never raised my hand on him.
Anyway, Agatha, that's session 2. As you said, there's a session 3.
Session 3 is the PowerPoint.
Any final thoughts from you as we bring it to a wrap in just a bit?
Yes, to the final thoughts, let me tell you something. It's just time for the majority of our people in our society to come out under that mental depression, oppression of the political mental slavery. Everything is not politics. You all make it politics because you all feel politics is your daily bread. Politics is not my daily bread. And I don't have to depend on a politician to survive. I don't have to depend on a politician to make it. They are not God. They might be your God. They are not my God. Because I know how to put my knees down and face the east with my virgin lamp and say, Father God, into your hands I place everything. If it is from you, I accept it. If it's not, take it away from me and me away from it. Go pray. and ask God to deliver you all from this political oppression that you all are under because of greed, wants, jealousy, no love and no compassion. Victims trying to victimize other people and discriminate against people that talking and telling the truth. I will speak my peace and I will tell the truth. Okay? And those of you that say, oh this and oh that, let me tell you all something. The spirits are talking. Life and living is entirely spiritual.
Yeah. All right, Agatha, I want to say thank you very, very much
Thank you,
indeed
sir.
for at least coming out again and vent.
I'll be back.
And I look forward to you being back.
Yeah, and I wish I could get I'm not no enemy with Marie Therese. No enemy at all. I just want to see a difference.
Yeah.
I just want to see a difference. A difference whereas the elderlies are comfortable and happy and cared for in the proper way for the monies that they are paying. There is one circle in the internet where a lady is looking for her mother. Her mother been in fact since 2019 and she don't hear nothing, and you know, and she took it to social media, you know. So hey, come on, all of these soldiers cannot be wrong.
True. All right, folks, thank you very much for your eyes and ears, as I normally say. Again, Agatha, as I said before, thank you for choosing my platform to at least come to vent. It is indeed a pleasure to serve you and the public in that way. Let me, for those who are on here still or those who will be viewing, let me repeat what I said earlier in terms of my preamble to the discussion as I close. I also have it in print here. The views expressed here, the words that were said here, these words are Agatha's words. The lady that you're seeing in the screen, people, Agatha, a lovely smile with that, Agatha Toussaint Shillingford.
My words.
These are her words.
Yes. This is how I feel.
And so yours truly will accept no responsibility or any liability for anything that may come up in the future. All I try to do is to open up my platform to give Dominicans an avenue and a place to seek solutions. As Agatha said, she's not about hating anybody. She's just about the interests of the elderly, at least in that instance. So, folks, that is it in terms of the conversation for this afternoon. Those of you who commented, thank you very, very much indeed. I cannot go through all the comments, but I took note of all the comments indeed. Just before I close, though, I want to say that because of the lateness that I'm ending here with Agatha, yours truly will have no live engagement. My usual Saturday night live, tonight, I will push that back to next week Saturday, if the good Lord above is willing. But come tomorrow for a very interesting program where the Civic Vibes team, they put together a program. You'd want to be part of that tomorrow. Annie Edwards will be in-house. We also have Brother Lennon Matthew will be there as well, and Mrs. Jackie Dupini. So 3 people will be in the house tomorrow, 3 professionals, and they will be touching on a very, very interesting topic and having a very interesting conversation. That's all about the education or re-education of Dominicans, especially where environmental matters are concerned. So Dominicans, that's it for me. Thank you very, very much indeed. Agatha,
Thank you.
you're my guest, so I'll give you the last thought. Last word before
Well,
you go.
they want us to think stupid.
Oh, you want that track?
Yes, they want us to think stupid.
That's from your boy
They
Burning
want
Spear?
us to feel stupid. And they know that I know, and I know that they know.
Let me see if I can pull up that one
Pick up for the police.
from Burning
Papa
Spear.
Burning Spear.
They want-
Let's go.